I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about the month of September. And in the month of September, we have both a solar and a lunar eclipse. Now, the solar eclipse will happen September 1st, and the lunar eclipse will occur September 16th. So between the solar and the lunar eclipse is a very intense time, because I call this the eclipse season. And during the time of eclipses, everything intensifies. And most of all, something is revealed out of the dark. Because what are we talking about with eclipses? We're talking about the lights in our heavens, the sun, the moon. The light is darkened, and out of the darkness comes the light. So you, in your own personal life, should be made aware of something you didn't know, because it brings out the unknown. And when you have more information and you know things and secrets that you didn't know before, you can definitely make much better decisions in your life. And this goes in global affairs as well as personal affairs. So be open to know the truth. And this goes far beyond your personal lives, because there are so many things that are about to be revealed this month that no one had a clue about. So many things are surfacing. And I believe what you think you know to be the truth will be uncovered, because most of what we know to be right will be proven wrong. And what we think is wrong will be proven right. That is what's going to be unveiled this month. And yes, I am talking about political concerns, because there is much that will be revealed about the presidential candidates here in the United States, as well as much that's being revealed globally about other world leaders. There is the huge unmasking of things. And it's all relative to these eclipse points. You see, this solar eclipse is happening at 15 degrees of Leo. And let me remind everyone, I do Vedic astrology, which uses the sidereal system of calculation. Most of you are more familiar with Western astrology, which uses the tropical system. And Vedic astrology will throw the planet signs backwards almost 23, 24 degrees in the zodiac. So the placements I use are usually back a sign from what you know. But this eclipse that's happening at 15 degrees of Leo is exactly opposed to Neptune. And Neptune is that energy that deals with what is hidden and secrets, things that we never know the answer to. It rules confusion, deception, deceit, denial, and it is called the Great Dissolver. So Neptune dissolves that which we think we know, but it opens up the truth. So as Neptune's opposing the solar eclipse at 15 degrees of Aquarius, this deals with humanity. In the sign of Aquarius, we have a mass of stars. It looks like a cloud, but that represents the masses of the people. As we look to the sign of Leo, which represents leaders, by the fact that there's one bright star in the sign of Leo, Regulus, it's the heart of the lion. And this represents world leadership. And that is about to be exposed, not just here in the United States, but all over the world. And I have made much mention about Turkey and Turkey's rulership, because there's going to be a big uncovering of truth there as well. So let me talk about some other things that are occurring this month aside from these intense eclipses, which will bring on the biggest changes that we've seen in a long time. The other variable, very important, is Mercury retrograde. Every time Mercury goes retrograde, which is 3 times a year for 3 weeks, it makes confusion about computers, technology, travel, everything goes haywire. Because when planets go retrograde, it's really a time that we're supposed to pull back and really reassess everything. It's like everything redone, reassess, reanalyze, reevaluate. Everything needs to be taken back and reflect on things. So as we reflect and take time out, that's what the retrograde process is all about. It's like the ebb and flow of the tide. It's time to pull back. But people don't ever pull back. They're always forcing and forging forward. So during this time, I know that everything to do with travel, communications, computers, technology is going to go haywire, because Mercury is going to turn retrograde in Virgo. And Virgo deals with health, healing, diet, nutrition, our food sources. So a lot of these things are going to come under the microscope. Drug companies and disease. Disease is ruled by Virgo. And many diseases that have been coming forth, like Zika, people have been very afraid. What is this disease? How can we find cures for it? I believe that quickly there's going to be some healing around the area of finding causes and what to do and how to contain certain diseases. And food allergies. This is another dominant factor that's going to become relevant this month. Let me explain why. Now that Mercury is retrograde, it went retrograde, by the way, August 30th, and it will turn direct September 22nd. So during this time frame, Mercury is moving backwards. And while it's in Virgo, it's not so bad as when it enters into Leo again, going backwards. So when it goes back into Leo, this will be actually around September. That's going to be around the lunar eclipse, that it's going to change signs with the sun. The sun is going to come into Virgo and Mercury is going to go back into Leo. So both Mercury and the sun are going to exchange signs. Mercury is going to be in Leo, ruled by the sun, and the sun's going to be in Virgo, ruled by Mercury. This is called mutual exchange or parivartana in Vedic astrology. And this intensifies this energy of the sun and Mercury. There's this unusual exchange, and things will revert and change during this time because Mercury is going to start to line up with Rahu. When Mercury turns direct, this will be September 22nd. It will be 20 degrees of Leo. And Rahu will be around 17, 18 degrees of Leo. This will intensify and make anything to do with Mercury-ruled things explode, such as computers, such as our communications and travel, the internet. Expect all sorts of foul-ups around this time, intense, and hackers will have a heyday during this time. And watch what comes out of WikiLeaks, because they plan to expose some extreme corruption about some of our political candidates. Watch what comes out. It's going to blow your mind, because there is going to be major scandal and disgrace because of what will be uncovered and revealed because of these eclipses, as well as Mercury retrograde, bringing back old things. When a planet goes retrograde, it brings back things from the past. And it's going to be with Rahu, which means major explosion and corruption like you've never seen before be exposed. The companies, the rich, the wealthy, their ways of corruption are about to be uncovered to the extreme during this month. So also around the time of eclipses, remember it's also a time of earthquakes. Eclipses cause this arena of earthquakes, so there's going to be more earthquakes and shaking in the world. Most specifically, I want you to know that during this month, around the time of this lunar eclipse, which remember is September 16th, Mars will be 29 degrees of Scorpio, and Uranus will be 29 degrees of Pisces. So it's going to be at the very last and final degree of the zodiac in Pisces. And Mars is going to be at the last degree of Scorpio, in the tail of Scorpio, which is extremely poisonous. But being in these water signs, this is called Gandanta. When a planet is 29 degrees of a water sign, it's called Gandanta, which actually means drowning. And that can represent being out of control. But it's also about water. And I believe this means, look out, this hurricane season is going to be intense. There's going to be more floods, more storms, more weather of all extremes, and tsunamis, because remember this deals with earthquakes. So we haven't seen the last of the earthquakes that are here to come this month. Another thing is I wanted to talk about is that when Mercury is in Virgo, it's going to, first it's in Virgo till about the 16th of September. It is with Jupiter and it's with Venus. These three planets together are called a Saraswati Yoga, which means the three benefics come together. Saraswati is the goddess of literary arts. It deals with music, writing, movies, films, anything to do with the expression creatively. And so beautiful, beautiful works of art. Visionaries will come out, movies, things that reflect our intense feelings and all that has been going on in the world for over this past year that has been so dangerous and so violent. So the Saraswati Yoga is going to make things feel better. It's a temporary phase though. But I also think it can deal with some healings, and it softens the effects of what's been going on right now. The only issue and problem is that Venus is going to be in Virgo. And Venus in Virgo, Venus is with Mercury at the first part of the month, which Mercury in Virgo is exalted. So it's extremely strong and lessens the effects of Venus being debilitated. But once we have Mercury go into Leo, and it's no longer with Venus, Venus is left with Jupiter and eventually the Sun. This is very harsh and bad for Venus because Venus in Virgo is debilitated. And I predict an extreme drop in the stock market because of this. So watch as we get past this lunar eclipse halfway into the month, stock market's going to fall. And whenever Venus is in Virgo, Venus rules luxuries. It rules money, wealth. I always say Jupiter deals with millionaires, but Venus deals with billionaires. And when it hits Virgo, unsupported, you see, Venus and Jupiter are actually arch enemies. They are the rulers of their camps. So you bring them together, they don't like being with each other. And then the Sun coming together with the Venus, Jupiter, will definitely deplete Venus's energy. So I predict that towards the end of the month, you're going to see a sudden drop in the stock market. Now around September 18th, we have Mars going into the sign of Sagittarius. And this will be very intense because this will escalate the religious domination of people being so righteous, being so fundamental, because Sagittarius is so much a part of fundamental belief systems. And so when it comes together, it will start to get closer and closer to Pluto, and this will be in the month of October. And this will be extremely dangerous. So we have that to look forward to. But meanwhile, all eyes and focus, the microscope should be on Mercury, because Mercury is the planet that's going to bring out all the secrets and unveiling of things. One thing I want to point out that's really been to our disadvantage is the media. The media has been deluding and deceiving us and not ever giving us the correct facts. That's why the things that we're about to see and know will be so shocking. So I don't foresee the presidential run, the candidates, things going the way we expect. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if one may not be disqualified. Really, something huge is going to happen. It's going to put a complete change, unbelievable, in this presidential race, because things will not go the way we expect. Especially, I might add, between the time period from the elections to inauguration, something is going to turn completely opposite than what we thought would happen. Could be violence, could be something incredibly explosive, or it could actually just mean that whoever wins may not be the president. So I also want you to know that from the time of the solar eclipse to this lunar eclipse, that out of the darkness there will be light. And I want you to really pay attention to what it is that it is in your life that you have been avoiding, not seeing. Ask that you see the truth, because it is really important that people change and become aware. Here's what I really think has been happening for so very long, is we have all been more and more disconnected from our spirit, from our source, because we are so busy looking out there and judging and being in this place of distrust and judgment and anger and fear, that we have come to believe that we're separate. And the state of feeling separate is what we're born into in these bodies. We feel separate from everything and everyone else in the world. But we have to come to realize we are not separate beings. And our natural state is unity. And I believe when we do leave this world, we do become one with all that is. We leave the separation, which is the unnatural sense and feeling of these bodies. But when we become one with all, that is our natural state. It's much more natural, and we feel like we've come home. And so I ask that you take the time to reconnect within to your home, your eternal home, which is in your heart, which is connected to the divine and all that is. And we all have this connection. But as it is right now, everything's disconnected. Everyone has taken themselves out of feeling connected to their heart, their soul. We have to start connecting again to our spirit and our soul. And this would come through meditation, through finding our peace, through also surrounding our world with symbols of our divine connection. So whatever your spiritual beliefs are, surround yourself with pictures, with statues, with symbols, with incense, whatever it is that makes you feel more connected to your inner soul, your inner being, and who you really are. And through going within and finding that divine connection again, this is where we will have an effect on all of the mass calamity. So open to this eclipse period and know that the secrets that are being revealed are going to have a transformational effect on you and the world by realizing the real truth, and that is that we are all divinely connected, and finding that sense of spirit to the divineness and the oneness that we all have within us. When we connect to that, we are all one. And all of the drama and the chaos disappears. Because you see, really, this whole world and everything out there that you perceive as being real is actually not. It's all an illusion. I know that a lot of you are going, I'm tired of hearing all that stuff about the illusion, but one day you'll realize it's all a dream. And it's all here to teach us about the one and the major thing that's real. And that is our divinity and our oneness. So with that, I'd like to close. And I would like for you to understand more, if you will, about who I am and what I do. You can go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Or if you're more interested in learning about Vedic astrology, you can go to my university, which is University of Vedic Astrology.com. Thank you.